So what we feel is that in this 2025, as this develop and mature, and this year could be a challenging year, or a decisive year for new technology adoption. And we will also need to sustain a, sort of a culture which, imbibes this new technologies, and then develop a data centric analytics approach, but at the same time preserves, we should be able to preserve the essence of a cohesive and a collaborative work environment. Because what will happen with these new technologies coming in, the users will, some of the users who are smart users will feel emboldened, and they will feel, yeah, I've been able to do my work confidently by himself or herself, but that's not the what technology we are imbibing, so we need to have that collaborative and the cohesion within the team come through these technologies also. So that is one of the challenges which we feel we are facing as we go ahead and recruit new people right from the colleges and the old people who are there, with a lot of experience. And so balancing this two is something which technology needs to get adopted in a very cohesive way within the organization. Embracing the new predictive technology is concerned, we have already developed a digital twin, for our NAFTA cracker, and it's a real-time optimizer. This AI-based equipment analytics is enabling us to ensure that none of our critical assets go for an unplanned downtime. All the parameters coming in now, the crunching of this data and coming up with the real-time early events are very quick, and it also gives the diagnostics to the users to make them understand, like in such scenarios with certain events coming up, what could be a probable way of mitigating that particular risk. So risk mitigation is also getting proactive through this AI based predictive analytics tool. So all these data sets, including the alarms, including the process parameters, are getting submerged into an AI platform, which we use an MCube AI platform. So that MCube AI platform generates the heat maps, and we are able to also predict if there is any chance of a safety incidents or aberration of a particular machines happens well in advance. So that gives a clue to our users to mitigate any sort of a potential risks in that particular area. So that's what AI is helping us in. I think regulating, one is the compliance part of it, and another important part of is to give a proactive view of the future trends which are coming up in a complex operation. This is a practical challenge, you're right. And without a foundational clean database, AI will not work. The most important part which we felt was like the integration has to be seamless, because when the machine data is coming and merging and assimilating with the business data, it should be in a contextualized form. But if it is not in that context, then it will be a hurricane task to put AI agents on top of it and tell the agents to talk to different attributes to get a relevant data. So I think when you are building a database or a data layer, it's a combination of the technology, IT, and the domain engineers coming together and forming the data layer. That's very important. And I think if that is more or less correct, then I think in today's world, you've got a lot of good tools and all who are crunching in the data and giving you a lot of insights. So UI UX also plays an important role, because that also has to be very simple and futuristic, so that users are, tend to go into the system and do their part of the job, because the UI UX is not very, I would say, intuitive for them. They will not go and experiment on that tool. So that also is very important. The UI UX integration and the data foundation layer is very important to have a win-win situation to get out of this AI and analytics. See, AI solutions which we feel, or which I feel in 2025, should move from concepts and prototypes to real world applications. So our biggest challenge is that, how much to adopt and experiment vis-a-vis, can we copy a ready-made solution which is effectively been used in a peer industry. So uh, I think some early success, in terms of this AI based solution deployment, will be I would say, an eye opener for senior management and the people to get that confidence, and then uh, pull in the or put in more financial commitments. Okay, yes, let's go ahead and implement this on on a company wide deployment. So I think that is what I feel in 2025 this is going to happen. See, budget and thing, that those issues will be there, but that doesn't mean that as a CIO one should take a step back and just hold on the breath. So what we need to do is understand the domain in its full extent, along with the business stakeholders, and take up one or two or three use cases, as I told you, which is impacting, maybe it is impacting the operations, the production. Some may be impacting the purchase. Like, there was one purchase head telling me a faceless purchase system. Now all these things looks good in the words, but then when you put and plan it, like, how do you expose those particular scenarios in the AI system, and then come out with a win-win scenarios which really works on ground. So those are the things, if you are able to select and pick the right use cases, then I think ROI itself will come on its own. And when you start building today these systems, the ROI will be a bit conservative in nature. But as we implement it, because one way of seeing is that you have got too much of people or excess of people, you're trying to automate a particular process, reducing some manpower and redeploying the manpower for something else. So these are some of the approaches which we are taking, that as an ROI is improving the efficiency of that particular process. And in some cases, there is a money or a value which we are able to demonstrate. I think this is very important, because AI doesn't mean only just coding. So what you have to do, you have to, when you're, transforming or going under a business transformation sort of a program, or a digital transformation program where AI plays a core part of your whole essence of the journey, then you'll have to form a team where an adequate domain people are there, the business people who got better of an experience in that particular operations. They know it, they should be knowing in and out, so they should be a part of your team. Once you have more or less designed the internal team that yes, they can handle during the course of the scope deployment, scope understanding, and the deployment of the particular AI solution, then have a right partner, a consulting tool, or a consultant company who can bring in that experience from the technology point of view and the global best practices, and then form this alliance and start working with the fixed use cases, build those use cases, gain the momentum, get the confidence of the senior management and the end user at large. And once you have done it, then embark on a structured digital transformation journey which can impact across the organization.